So, if you've been seeing some of my latest videos, you know that I've been pretty unmotivated and pretty sluggish in terms of studying, especially. So, I thought, let's re the the let's bring back the love for studying and study for the day, and edit that by challenging myself to study for 12 hours straight, which is gonna be interesting, right? Gonna be interesting. So I started off late on this particular morning because I woke up a bit late and all that jazz. I would normally prefer to start studying much earlier when my concentration is at its peak, but it's not always an early morning for me. So yep. And then I also did my bullet journaling and stuff, and after that I started to set up stuff because my online school started, and while that was going on in the background, I wanted to get started on my studying. So here you see me just completing some older biology notes that I've been meaning to complete so that I could be done with this chapter once and for all. And I will be chatting more about the note-taking process later on in the vid, so yeah, stick around for that. And then I had my breakfast after I was done with my notes, and also solved biology assignment. And I was doing a lot of biology this particular morning. I think biology might be my favorite science. Not sure, but yeah, I basically solved a past paper after that. The paper 6 past paper, right? And once I had solved that, I started correcting it because I just like to see how I'm scoring and how many mistakes I'm making and all that jazz. So yeah, I did that. And if you've seen my my recent bullet journal video, you'd know that I've been solving a lot of past papers and tracking my scores because that just helps me in terms of practice, and I think that's the best way to practice for igcse. So that's what I do, and then I basically updated some of my notes based off what was in the mark scheme and based off some mistakes that I made. So that's how it helps. The past few days it's been raining every day in the mornings, and I'm just so happy about it. Like, the atmosphere is it's raining in the month of May, which is a bit strange, but oh wait, it's the month of June, isn't it? Oh right, it's the month of June. So also update on what I've been doing. We're being super productive, so that's exciting. And yeah, also rains. After I was done romanticizing the rains to motivate myself to study more, I got started on just completing my bullet journal, and then also basically got started on an English assignment that was report writing, I believe. And I also snacked on some fruit while I was doing that. I was mostly basically snacking on the fruit and hardly doing any writing. So yeah, I mostly got done with my report after I finished snacking on the fruit. And I think peaches and plums are just so good. I mean, the monsoon season just amazing. And then after all of that, I was feeling super productive, but also kind of, I don't know, there was just a very weird expression. I really don't know what I meant to what I was feeling that time. God knows. Anyways, I then got started on a multi-choice. Oh god, an MCQ past paper, and I was basically just referring to the questions on one side and then the mark scheme on the other side. And then I had lunch. Once I got back from lunch, I started clearing up my desk and trying to be as tidy as possible. And honestly, at this point, I have no clue what this stack of, or rather pile of, or I have no clue what they are at this point. But all those papers, I just keep pinning them up onto my board and just leave them there. So that's about as organized and tidy as I can get. And then I got started on reading the chapter that I wanted to make notes for, and also highlighting it a bit, so I could make notes from it. And then I started making notes, and then I realized that my notes were way too messy, and then I had to rewrite my notes because I didn't actually read the chapter properly. So I ended up not planning my notes in advance. So definitely read your chapter properly and then highlight stuff. And then I thought I'd show you guys how exactly I make my notes. So what you see here are some headers basically, and then under that I make pointers and also sometimes a geo or something. So basically I just divide my notes into little categories of subtitles or titles. And then sometimes I also like to put in some icons like an exclamation mark for experiments. And I like to also include a lot of graphs and stuff, so graphs and diagrams and drawings basically, because that just makes it all a lot more exciting. And then I like to use a pencil when I'm reading my notes after I've finished making them, to underline important stuff and to also include any important information and all that jazz. And I'm not big on colors in my in my notes, so that's why I use a pencil. And then I thought I'd show you guys some of my earlier notes and how different they are. So these are some of my biology notes, and you may notice that there are a lot of kind of like diagrams that are not diagrams. I don't remember what the term is. I'll probably put it up on the screen. And here I also printed out the structures and printed out the diagrams. So that's what I do for bio. Then for economics, I have a lot of graphs generally and a lot of pointers under those graphs. So that's how my eco notes look. And for business studies, these are actually some of my older notes when I still use highlighters and stuff. And here, if you notice, I've used a plus sign for the pros and a minus sign for the cons, and I think that's super helpful, especially for a subject like business studies where a lot of things have pros and cons and you need to remember that. And then with the highlighter, I've also, as you can see, at one point I've highlighted the entire phrase, and sometimes I just underline it with the highlighter. I don't do that much anymore, but yeah. These are some of my physics notes that are pretty compact, and yeah, my physics notes are pretty compact. And I think this is just one of my most visually pleasing notes to look at because it just has so much variation in terms of diagrams and tables. And that's something that's important in making notes look aesthetic, just having a variety of tables or drawings and not always having just content. And then I basically had a French lecture, so I had to do some French stuff, solve some exercises, and also do some essay writing. And I just realized how terrible my posture is. Anyways, I also snacked on some melon while I was at it, and I was also completing my chem notes simultaneously, which made for an interesting experience because yeah. So it's 5:50 and I've just finished my melon, and also these notes. I haven't finished the entire chapter, but I finished a major part of the chapter, and I think I'm done with chemistry for today. It'll probably take me maybe 1 or 2 more days because it's a big chapter. So my French lecture is still going on in the background. Basically everybody else's turn for speaking is, it's my turn, so my turn's yet to come. And till then, let's do some other stuff. And by other stuff, I meant some reading, so I decided to do some reading. And this particular book is a non-fiction book, so I don't read it very often. I don't read it as often as I should be reading it. And It's basically about Hindu mythology, which is a topic of major interest currently. And then I really got into reading slash studying it and started making notes and everything. So yeah, that I am pretty interested, just that I don't read it as often as I should probably be reading it.
Finalemo. Finalemo. Ma classe de français a fini. So now I can speak in English. Right. So I'm done with everything in terms of school basically. So now it's time for me to study fun stuff, to study stuff for myself. And I've talked about this on my channel a lot of times before, and I keep talking about it on my channel. But it's super important to, just keep the spirit of and keep the love for learning alive. And that can only be done by learning stuff that you're interested in and just learning stuff for yourself. And that's what I love about self-studying, is that I can explore stuff that's beyond the curriculum. I can explore into subjects that I truly care about. And I have a couple of ideas for what I want to do for the evening in terms of studying, but having fun at the same time. So first off, I want to do my German classes. Right, so we're doing German now basically.
And yeah, I basically study German through Duolingo currently. I haven't actually got around to actually starting to properly study the language yet. I'm just getting on my basics basically as of now, and I've also started taking notes, so that's been super helpful in terms of studying the language. I'll probably do a video about my experience with German sometime. And yeah, I was considering doing some exercise in the evening, but I just ended up dancing instead. Yeah, I had dinner after that, and then I again had to clear up my desk because my desk just keeps getting messy on its own, and I have no idea why it doesn't clean itself up, but apparently I have to clean my desk up.
So part 2 of studying what I love to study is right. Wait, can you see my face? Okay.
So basically here you see me doing some research, which is an important part of self-studying for me. And I just basically choose any topic that I'm interested in and start researching about it and taking notes, reading articles, doing a bunch of other stuff. And I'm going to be elaborating more about self-studying and research in a later video of mine. So I'll be elaborating about how I take my notes and stuff. But I just choose any random topic of interest and start researching basically. And yeah, that was I ended up having a super productive day. So if you're in a bit of a productivity or motivational slump, I highly encourage you to just challenge yourself to give a go at it for 12 hours and not get distracted, because I certainly had a lot of instances during the day when I wanted to get distracted, but I knew that I was okay doing a challenge, so I couldn't get distracted. And yeah, that was a great experience. So thanks for being here, people. Yeah, I'm just really glad that you exist, and yeah, thank you, just thank you. And hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then stick around maybe. And yeah, thanks, just thanks.